Good morning, friends. Now picture this. It's a cold winter morning in 1910. The kind that bites your nose and fogs your breath. And in the heart of New York City, a train whistle pierces the dawn at Grand Central Station. Aboard a modest passenger train, not much to look at. Wooden cars, creaky seats, and a coal stove, puffing warmth. Sits a cargo more precious than gold. 50 children, orphans, all of them, their eyes wide with equal parts fear and hope. And this is no ordinary train. This is an orphan train, part of the movement that between 1854 and 1929 carried over 200,000 children from crowded eastern cities to new lives in the Midwest and beyond. These children, ranging from toddlers to teens, were part of the Christmas Aid Society's bold plan to find homes for New York's street kids, urchins who'd known hunger, cold, and the hard cobblestones of tenement alleys. The train, operated by New York Central Railroad, chugged westward, its wheels singing a rhythm of possibility over the frost-covered tracks. At the helm of this journey was Clara White, a young social worker with a heart bigger than her paycheck. She'd seen too many kids lost to the city's shadows. And this Christmas run, she vowed, would be different. The train stopped in small towns, places like Syracuse, Cleveland, Fort Wayne, where families waited on platforms, sizing up the children like farmers at a livestock auction. By the time it reached Salina, Kansas, on December 23rd, only a handful of kids remained, including a scrawny 12-year-old named Tommy. Tommy had patched trousers and a stubborn spark in his eye. He'd been passed over at every stop. Too old for some, too scrappy for others. Clara, watching him stare out the window at the snow-dusted prairies, she felt a pang. "Someone's waiting for you, Tommy," she whispered. Though she wasn't sure she believed it. Now, Salida. It wasn't a big town. Just a cluster of clapboard houses and a main street lined with general stores. The word of the orphan train had spread, and the crowds gathered at the depot, lanterns swaying in the twilight. And among them was a widower, John Kessler. He was a farmer who'd lost his wife and son to influenza 2 winters back. John hadn't planned to take in a child. His heart was too bruised, his farm too lean. But something, maybe the Christmas spirit or a nudge from above, had pulled him to the station as the children lined up. Tommy stood last, shoulders hunched, expecting another rejection. Clara read the children's name, her voice steady, despite the ache in her chest. When she called Tommy's, John Kessler stepped forward, his calloused hand raised. "I'll take the boy," he said, voice gruff but kind. The crowd murmured, surprised. John was a loner, not the adopting type. Tommy froze, suspicious. But Clara gave him a gentle push. "Go on, Tommy, this is your chance." That night, in John's small farmhouse, a Christmas miracle unfolded. John, who hadn't celebrated since his family's passing, pulled a dusty box from the attic. Inside were his son's old toys, a wooden train carved by hand, and a tin whistle. He gave them to Tommy, who clutched them like treasures. Over a simple supper of cornbread and stew, John shared stories of railroading. You see, he'd once worked the Union Pacific, and Tommy, for the first time, smiled, his guard dropping like snow melting in the sun. Years later, Tommy Kessler grew up to be a conductor on the Santa Fe Railway, known for his kindness to passengers, especially children traveling alone. He'd blow that old tin whistle at every station, a signal of hope to those starting new journeys. And every Christmas, he'd visit John, now an old man, and they'd sit by the fire, the wooden train on the mantel, a reminder of the night the train brought them together. The orphan trains, you see, weren't just about moving children. They were about moving hearts. By 1929, when the program ended, thousands of lives had been changed. Families forged on the rails. And Tommy? He'd tell anyone who'd listen that his life began not in New York, but on a snowy platform in Salina, where a train, a farmer, and a Christmas wish made him a son. In that snowy Kansas winter of 1910, the orphan train carried more than children, carried hope. Clara White, with her steadfast faith, gave those orphans a chance at new lives. John Kessler, the grieving farmer, opened his heart to take in young Tommy. Tommy, with his resilient spirit, turned that kindness into a life of purpose as a conductor, uplifting others. You see, each played their part. Claire's belief, John's courage, Tommy's grit, proving that small acts can change lives. So here's your challenge. Do what you can, where you are, with what you have. Be the heart, hands, or soul that someone needs today. Have a great day.